Okay, this this point here is basically where the old road becomes a rocky foot trail, and we start our climb up to the lower lake, which is right up here. The upper lake is right up there. They're on different branches. I believe, I'm pretty sure, that this little stream here is the outlet of the upper lake. The outlet of the lower lake is over here, not too far. In fact, I can hear it. It's, I don't know, maybe 10-20 yards away. Okay, here we are, the lower Price is Right lake. It's Tuesday, August 1st, first day of August. Pretty flat water out there. You can see the weed beds pretty good out here and over here and over there. Extensive weed beds. I see fish already. I see fish here. One just rose out there. One just rose there. I see several fish. There's one that just rose there along the shoreline. The bad news is we have what could be an outfitter's camp over here. I don't know. On a Tuesday, on a weekday. Never seen that in these mountains before, so maybe I just hit it wrong. Pretty day up. Ooh, big fish, big fish, big fish. So I'm going to try to keep my discipline and go make my way to the upper lake because I've never been there and I've wanted to check it out. So there's a big fish right there. See if I can zoom in on him. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's a big fish there, just kind of hanging there. And then there's another one right there. The other thing that's changed, I see another one right over here too. I see fish rising. The other thing that's changed is the lake level's down about 2 feet from when I was in here 2.5 weeks ago, and the lake level's down quite a bit. This is the outlet right here that goes underground. All of this was awash 2.5 weeks ago. Interesting. See that big old cut? There he goes. There's another one right here cruising, right there. So we have smaller fish out here. Quite a few smaller fish out here. Some of them look to be 11-12 inches out in here. Looks like there's some more fish over here, bigger fish. Very easy to see with this because the water's pretty flat right now. That fish rose over there. And he looks to be a good size one. So we've got 3 or 4 big fish right out here. Let me see if I can show them to you here. And one of them just rose. There you go. Can you see those? Those are big fish. Those are 3 to 4 pound fish. There's another one over here. Look at him. That guy over there is big. I don't know if you can see him or not. There he is, right there. Sorry, there you go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So I'm on a what looks to be a beaten footpath to the upper lake. So this is the footpath to the upper lake. It really gets kind of rocky in here. This is not necessarily my idea of safe when you're alone, but it's probably not as bad as it looks. There's a cairn there and right here, so just follow that. Okay, it is 10, a little after 10 a.m. Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. This is the upper lake, Upper Price is Right Lake in the Pintlers. It took me an hour and a half to get to the to the lower lake, and then it took me probably an hour between messing around at the upper lake in terms of photographing and then picking the route over to here. So it took, what, 2.5 hours. So this lake, there's just a beaten footpath. It's an unmaintained trail that comes over here. It can be difficult to follow in spots. There's one bad spot through the scree that's a little on the dangerous side. I do see some fish rising. There's one right there rising. So this lake has 3-year-olds. It gets stocked every 3 years. It does have intermittent natural reproduction. It appears to be quite a bit deeper than the lower lake. So I think what I'm going to do, probably take residence up over there and fish. I guess fish over here somewhere. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got my waders with me, which I might need if I wade that shoal. So I'll probably fish just for 3 hours, and then I might head back down to the lower lake. Okay, it's 10:45, and I'm just now getting into the water. I'm rigged up. There's a pretty good shelf out here. There are fish rising. Because it's mid-morning, late morning, they're rising out in the middle. They're probably taking chironomids. Later on, if the wind comes up, if the breeze comes up, a little bit of a breeze, there's a fish right there, and he's a good size. He's good size. This is wow, right in front of me too. Wow, and he just rose. And there are fish, I'm seeing these fish in quite close in some cases. But yeah, he's right there. He's 10, 11 feet in front of me there. Fascinating. So, if a breeze comes up later, what should happen with the warm weather is it should blow terrestrials in, ants, things like that. And generally in the mornings, early mornings, the fish are kind of scavenging from anything that hatched the day before. And then around late morning, mid-morning, that's when the hatches start. That's when the hatches start, kind of what's going on here. And then late afternoon, if there's a breeze and warm weather, the terrestrials will blow in. So that's kind of how there he goes. I spooked him finally. That's how Gary LaFontaine broke down mountain lakes. Basically, you know, what happens on a daily basis. So the trick here is, and I'm not doing a really good job, is I'm waiting, trying to get to the edge of the shelf here. And without, you know, you want to wade real carefully so that you don't put a lot of ripples in the water. You're going to put some, even if you're the best wader and wade slow, you're going to put a little bit, but you don't want to go sloshing out. Like I said, I have seen fish rising. They're obviously feeding, which is good. I thought about trying my aunt with a floating fly line, and I didn't. I opted for basically the same setup that I had 2.5 weeks ago at the lower lake, and that is I've got a floating line, a 15-foot leader, and 2 flies under a strike indicator. The point fly is a Black Sally, which is a Chironomid, and then the other fly, the dropper, is a dial bach, a green cheek dial bach. And so I'm right on the edge of this, and there's a youngster right there. That's a young fish right there. So I'm kind of ready to begin here. Yep, there's some youngsters here. So this lake does have, and there was a fish right behind me. You can see they're in close. So the trick here is we got to set the depth. There's a drop off here, which I love to fish drop offs like this. So the first thing we got to do is we got to get some line out, and we've got to get some line out, and we've got to set our depth. So when you're fishing nymphs like this under an indicator, you want the point fly to be roughly 1 to 2 feet off the bottom. If it's if the bottom is uniform, 1 foot. If the bottom is not uniform, 2 feet. I always shoot for 18 to 24 inches. All right, so I kind of showed you this before, a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you can see that. That's a Northland hotspot. I have a couple of these, and that's what you use to set your depth. You clamp it on. This is a 1/2 ounce version. Clamp it onto the point fly there, and you're going to toss it out. And what you're looking for is you want that strike indicator to sink about 2 feet. That might be all right. I don't know. I'll take it up just a little bit, I think. Okay. Let's do this again. Yeah, so I'm seeing some small fish, and there shouldn't be, in terms of stocking, there shouldn't be okay, so yeah, so it's too deep. All right, so that's kind of too deep, I think. So all right, let's try this again. See if we get this right. So this thing drops off pretty good. pretty deep here. All right, I set the depth, and this is actually my second cast. I just hooked and lost a fish. They're cruising. You see them cruising off these drop-offs here, which is why I like to fish them. There's one right there, and I saw him cruise, and then he went right towards the flies and took them, and I hooked him and lost him. Interesting, I am seeing quite a few. I am seeing a lot of fingerlings. This lake should have, just from a stocking schedule, it should have 3-year-olds and 6-year-olds in it. So obviously there's been some natural reproduction in here in the last, year or two. So the biggest thing with indicators, like the indicator fishing like this, is just being patient. Well, I finally managed to keep one on the hook here. I've lost 2. I've hooked and lost 2. This is a little, he's about 11 inches, fat, pretty, real colorful West Slope. Wow, look at him. Very colorful. Let's see. He hit the Black Sally. All right, little guy. It's all right. Back you go. All right. Got another one. Looks like he might be a little... he's similar to the last one. About 11 inches. This one took the dial back. He might go 12. Yep, he might go 12. There you go. This is sure a pretty lake. I lost my fly, my chironomid. I was checking the depth and I snagged it up on a rock and lost it. So I think what I'm going to do, it's noon, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack up and I want to go back to the lower lake. I really ought to give this another fair shot, but that lower lake, it is trophy fish country. All right, there's some fish here. There's 3 of them right here. Yeah. Hunting food. That one's about 11, 12. This one's about 12. Then there's a smaller one, another smaller one, and then another one. So I'm headed, it's 12:20, 12:25, something like that. I'm headed down to the lower lake, back to the lower lake. Fish rose there. There's calabatus coming off too, which I would have thought this was late, but for them, but oh well. Here we go. Yeah, oh, look at that. That's cool. Yeah. Let's see if he does it again. There he goes. Oh, he was looking at something. Just for the record, there's nothing wrong with this lake. It's scenic. There's looks to be quite a few fish in here, maybe even too many, a little bit. They do get up. I have seen fish up to 16, 17 inches. Though the average, there's multiple age classes in here, so there definitely is natural reproduction. But it's a good lake. It's just that the the lower lake I'd like to spend some time with the lower lake some more because of the big fish, and more importantly, I don't want to be traversing that scree field alone at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening. So anyway, all right, Upper Price is Right Lake, departing shot. So as you can see, most of this is the unmaintained trail to the from the lower or from the upper lake to the lower lake. I'm right below the upper lake. As you can see, most of this is a pretty good footpath. It's half a mile from between the two lakes. And then this here, as you can see, there's a scree field, a boulder field you got to traverse along the side of a hill. As I said, most of this is a pretty beaten footpath, but right up ahead of us, there's a section of about 100 yards that's kind of I don't know, technical. Do we want to say that? And you got to keep your wits about you. You'll see it here in a few minutes. All right, we're coming into the scree boulder field we got to traverse. It's marked here without log, and I don't know if there's another way. I've wondered if there's another path that goes down to the meadow. Here's another marker right here. All right, and then in general, what you want to do is you kind of want to, coming up, you want to stay high because you'll miss, the trail goes high, but this is the section we've got to traverse right here. You can see there's another stuck up log to mark right in here. So this is, it's 50, 75 yards, that you've got to traverse. Once you get over there, the trail comes back into view, and hey, there's civilization. Looking across to the Flint Range over there. All right, so here we go. I don't know that I'd want to try this in the rain. And doing this alone, like me, isn't exactly the smartest or safest thing. Don't tell my wife. If she knew I was doing this alone like this, she would kill me. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. You got a marker here, and the trail's not readily visible. What you kind of want to do is work your way down through there, and the trail goes there and that away. And be careful, because this is loose. I much prefer on this kind of stuff going up rather than going down. All right, the lower lake's in sight. Looks like the outfitter camp, or whatever that was, looks like they broke camp and are gone. So I have it all to myself. Okay, it's 5:35 p.m. Tuesday, August 1st. Lower Prices Right Lake departing shot. Tough day up here. The hike up and back from the upper lake kind of wasted me. I did catch 2 fish up there. Lost a couple more up there. Here, I only caught 1. About 11, 12 inches, real fat. Didn't catch any of the big guys. That was it. I had a bunch of grabs. But I couldn't hook them. So I don't know. Maybe they were grabbing the swivel, the barrel swivel. I don't know. They do that sometimes. The other thing that was odd that I've never really seen before is the lake is full of what appear to be dead floating scuds. They're all over the place. And I noticed some fish were going after them, but yeah, dead floating scuds. I've never seen that before. Don't know what that means. And I noticed that when I got out of the water over here, I only had 1 or 2 scuds on my waders. Last time they were full of them, so I don't know what all that means. But anyway, tough day up here. Beautiful day. Got to see the upper lake. Caught a couple of fish, but didn't have the day like I had in here 2 weeks ago.